Hello and welcome along to the Rugby Pod. Big Jim and Goody are back again, and Beer 52 are on board again this week. You guys been enjoying your beers?
Oh, so much.
Not so much this week.
Oh, really?
I thought it was going to be a celebration. Hashtag always Edinburgh Beer 52, a Scottish company. And no, I haven't. I mean, I've had one, but it didn't go down as well as I thought it might have. I did need a knife and fork. It went down smoothly, but not joyfully, I should say. But they're still very good, of course. We like them.
Very tasty, aren't they?
Well, Jim, I get that. I get it's not as tasty as usual because of the defeat, but you can always drown your sorrows with more Beer 52 beers, can't you?
Yes, you can, Goody. Yes, you can. I see what you've done there. Drowned responsibly in beer.
And if you are a Rugby Pod listener, you can get 8 free beers free. Your first ones are on us. All you need to do is go to beer52.com/rugby and cover the postage. That's the word beer followed by the number 52.com. And you can cancel your account at any time as well. So just head to beer52.com/rugby to get your first case of 8 beers for free. That's beer52.com/rugby. And by doing so, you'll be supporting the Rugby Pod as well. How's your week been, boys? Jim, are you over the big defeat or what?
Well, I kind of am. I haven't watched as much Ruggers as you might think after the hashtag always Edinburgh defeat to the mighty Ulster. Stand up for the Ulster men. You know what? You know the hashtag they use, the Sutter or whatever it is. Had no idea.
Softum.
Had no idea what that was.
Softum. You didn't know what Softum was?
No idea. But then it triggered
geez.
because I'm reading after the game around the interactions of the Ulster Edinburgh game, and I keep seeing the hashtag, and then in my mind I'm saying stand up
for the
Ulster man, like that, and then it triggered.
Or basically, stand up for the Madigan. Stand up
of course.
For the Madigan.
Yeah, so I did watch 2 of the Guinness Pro14 games, obviously the semi-final and the semi-final.
But I don't want to cut in here, Jim, but I do. Because this pod might have a bit of a theme around it today. And I'm just going to say these...
Twitter.
I'm just going to say these 4 words to you, Jim. I'm just going to say these 4 words to you. I told you so, didn't I? I told you so.
Did you though? Did you believe that, or was it like you tweet? Was it like your tweets? You just tweeting and eating and not believing, or believing?
I'll announce this on the pod now. Everything I tweet, everything I say, I believe. I believed Ulster were going to win. I believe we'll get to Owen Farrell a bit later. But yeah, listen, I told you so. I'll just leave.
Mate, you did. Let's go back. We can come on to the viral tweet that Goodies has gone, which is important, which is very important for some people. The weekend, I mean, so it was hashtag always Edinburgh on Saturday. It was hashtag always beach time yesterday with the family. So relaxing with the kids, so relaxing. And then today it's been hashtag always work and hashtag digging through the articles and reading the big news. So I haven't watched as much rugby in terms of Premiership stuff as I have in previous weeks. I haven't even got the black book. That's how busy I've been. I haven't even got the black book. So
I'll just let you know, Jim. Yesterday was Sunday. This is obviously going to come out on Tuesday, but there was no Premiership rugby on Sunday.
Was there not?
No, there wasn't.
No, it was all Saturday, was it?
All the games were Friday and Saturday. Yes, James.
Well, I can't keep up. There's some on Tuesday, there's some on Wednesday, there's some Friday, there's some Saturday, there's some Monday, Tuesday, happy days, Wednesday, Thursday, rugby days. They're everywhere, mate. They're everywhere. So I didn't even know. I didn't even look. I had my phone off on Sunday for work. Saying that, you take those pictures, you bang on Instagram, look how good my life is. You don't hear the screaming kids. I did that. But one thing that I want and I need the backing for anyone who sees me and the wife, or mainly the wife walking down the street, is convincing her that getting a dog, a new dog, is going to stem the screaming of the twins. I want to get into the dog. Yeah, okay, maybe you're right then.
Yeah. Mate, look at what's happened. You keep trying and you're trying and you try. No, mate, you've just got to...
She's not having it.
No, she's not having it. You just got to focus on the twins, mate. And I'm just going to let the masses know that although Jim has 4 kids, he only ever sends me the screaming twins or a picture of JJ. Now, I'll be honest about JJ.
With his shirt off.
With his shirt off. On the beach. That kid, I mean, he's going to be hard as fucking new. Let's not beat around the bush. He ain't yours. He's got a rig that, you'd be proud of. That's why you're sending me pictures of him. You sure JJ's yours?
I'm not convinced now. Anyway, just for the millions of people out there, you might be interested, but you're probably not. Monday night after we record the podcast is wrestle night. So me and JJ, I've kitted the garage/studio out. We've got some wrestling mats around. He gets the boxing gloves and we go full go. Whereas now I've had to tell him he can't go full goo on certain things, as in he can't kick his old man in the ribs, and I've got like a bloody giraffe's neck line across me torso. I mean, I don't feel it, but it looks pretty good when you've got a six-pack like me. But anyway, you can't do that. You can't condone the violence. But yeah, I'm not saying that he's my favourite. I'm not, but his name is Jack James Hamilton. He just don't scream. He sleeps, he eats, he doesn't scream. What more do you want from a kid?
Exactly.
How long until you give the twins some boxing gear?
They probably box each other, don't they? Mine do.
They're just, you know what? Kids that age, they're absolute Judases. I'm watching it unfold.
Yeah.
One of the twins, so Max will be walking, next thing, Freya, will come behind him for no reason and double push him straight in the back. And he could fall forward into the stairs, the TV, anything. Next thing, Max will pick something up and for no reason whatsoever, he'll lob it straight at the TV.
Not at Phoebe.
Judas is, well, it probably does. He's probably, who knows? He might well do. It's like, what's the point of decorating the house? What's the point of making the house nice? They're drawing all over the walls. Kids that age are absolute Judases. Like, they just wreck the joint.
Well, you mean twins? You mean when twins go at each other? Like, my twins are the same. I watch them and they are the same as that, pushing each other over, pulling each other's hair, doing whatever. And then we were at a farm park on Sunday, and there was this girl, very similar age. Olivia's gone off and she's playing on some the climbing frame. There's this girl that's a very similar age, and I was like, I don't recognise my daughter at the minute because she's playing really nicely with another kid. Normally she's trying to rip Isabella's hair out or pinch her eyes out of her face, and it's just madness, isn't it? It's carnage. But yeah, I mean, family time over the weekend, but I did get out on the bike again.
Did you?
Went again, yeah. Went again quite a few times actually. I'm into it now. It's becoming an obsession. I like it. But I do have another question for you guys.
Go on.
Well, I'm watching myself. You know, I'm out there now regularly in my lycra. You know, not looking the best, but feeling okay about myself because I'm doing a little bit of exercise.
Is this before or after the tweet?
The tweet, mate. The tweet's the truth, mate, isn't it? There's only you and your 100 Saracens fan mates that are pissed off with it. Everyone else thinks it's the truth.
But I want to build out at this point of time where you're feeling good about yourself. I'm trying to build the narrative in my head.
Mate,
what day is it?
This is Sunday.
Yeah.
And you're out on the bike, and I noticed when I cycle in midweek, all the cyclists are quite polite. They give you a wave. You know, and you go past one and, you know, they wave at you. They're quite nice. Come Sunday morning, oh, no. So my twins, you know, they're pretty good, actually. They wake up at 9:30 most mornings.
Oh,
I've woken up Sunday morning about 8 o'clock. I thought, sorry, I'll go for a bike ride before everyone gets up. Out you go on the bike ride. How many cycle clubs are on the roads on a Sunday? Like, people that think they're professional cyclists.
Flamingos.
Yeah, I'm looking at a few of them, and I'm like, why does every other cyclist that I see look like they're not even trying hard, whereas I'm literally hanging off my bike like I'm going to fall off because my udders are hanging out everywhere. My arse is falling off the bike. Do you feel the same way when you look at another cyclist and go, why do they look so calm, cool and collected, yet you're pedalling as if you're about to fall off and have a heart attack?
Never. I always overtake them. So
and that's the other thing. How good does it feel when you actually overtake someone? And this happened to me on Sunday. So I overtook someone and he was about 65. But I felt good about myself. It made me feel good. Overtook him. Off you go. And then about 10 minutes later, and obviously you don't see people coming to overtake you because you've got no rear wing mirrors. There you go. This bloke fully dressed in pink. He must have about 55. He overtakes me and off he goes, flying.
So like I said to you, the flamingo. Mate,
yeah.
All the fast ones are in pink. They look like flamingos when they're going past you.
And I'm sat on my bike going, that fucking Jude, I'm going to get him. And as hard as I tried, I couldn't get him. And he didn't even look like he was trying. So it really did my head in.
I'm going all out. I'm going all out, Goody, for an electric bike. So you get a race bike that looks electric.
Yeah.
Sorry, you get a race bike that looks normal, but it's actually, there's a button on it that's electric. Canyon. Yeah. Big shout out to Canyon. They're going to give me one. I've asked them. I don't normally ask for freebies, but they're more expensive than cars.
Shall I tell you who else has got a electric bike, Jim? And this might put this into perspective for you.
You?
No. Mine's a road bike that is fucking hard work getting up the hills. Simon Cohen. Remember good old Simon Cohen from Leicester Tigers, ex-CEO? I was chatting to him a few weeks back. He's like, yeah, I've been out on the bike too. I've got an electric one. I said, mate, you just press the fucking button and it takes you where you want to go. That's called a car, son. So there's your level. If you get an electric bike, you're on a par with Simon Cohen.
You're rich, basically. If you've got,
Yeah,
if
well,
you've got
yeah.
electric bike, you're loaded.
Yeah. But I reckon he looks worse than me in Lycra, doesn't he?
Oh my
You
goodness.
hate cyclists that bike past you at the moment and overtake you. Wait till someone in a full suit and an electric bike just pedals slowly past you when you're going for absolutely makes you wild. Manscaping, they're back on board, guys. I mean, you mentioned decorating, keeping things tidy before gym. Well, here's one thing you can keep tidy. It's your downstairs, the below-the-waist grooming. And it couldn't be a better fit for us. They're offering precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. You get it?
Yeah, I get it. And I know why they put these ball wipes in. I mean, this sounds crazy to talk about, but, you know, this is real life, right? They've got these ball wipes in there. Now, when I took them out of the box, right, I'm holding them up almost like a dirty nappy. I just didn't know how to hold them. Held them comfortably. Now I know why you need them. When you've not got a stitch of hair down there, you realise the amount of sweat that it produces down. I just didn't know. Man, I knew at the back that it can happen, right? Because there's a courtesy wipe that goes on 3 or 4 times a day. That's fine. mate, you know, it's just new. It just takes a bit of time to get used to. But anyway, like I put out on my tweet.
It's a nice feeling though, isn't it, Jim?
It's a great feeling, but it's not about me and you. It's not about me, you, Andy Rowe, Tim. It's not about the Manscaped masses. It's about the people that you're with. It's about them. We're doing it for them, not just you. It's more for them. And the people associated with me, i.e. my wife, she seems happy. And if she's happy, I'm happy. Happy wife, I'm getting a dog. That's all I'm thinking.
And she said you can see it now as well, which is nice.
Andrew, let's not get there, mate. Let's not get there. I can still see my knees. Mate.
You just got to head to manscape.com and you get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RugbyPod. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscape.com. Don't forget to use the code RugbyPod. Your bulls will thank you. Eddie Jones has taken on a coaching consultancy role with the San Diego Legion in the MLR to go with the one that he's already got with the Suntory Sun Goliath in Japan. Is that a bit of a conflict of interest for the England head coach?
Yeah, he does what he wants, doesn't he? I mean, listen, the RFU have given him the blessing. You know, obviously, we don't know what that entails. You know, clearly it's not going to entail anything when he's on England camp. He does have a lot of free time. And to be fair to Eddie Jones, and you think back to and look at a lot of the other international coaches, I know Eddie Jones likes the limelight. I know Eddie Jones likes to be seen on TV, in all the news, you know, being the headline. He's at a lot of Premiership games, isn't he? He's there all the time. You think of other coaches. Gats used to spend a lot of time back in New Zealand when he was the Welsh coach. So clearly an international rugby coach has a lot of time on their hands in between camps, in between tournaments. So, you know, if he wants to go and earn a few $1,000s here or there, fair play to him.
And also, I think it's good for the game with the MLR, the fact that he's going over there. And San Diego, a proper team. They've got Scott Murray coaching. Obviously, Chris Robshaw is heading there soon. Quinns can't get relegated now. I don't know why I'm being horrible.
Why are you being horrible?
I don't know. But yeah, he's heading there. Matt, I'd love the MLR to take off. I really would. And I think having someone like Eddie Jones, whether or not he's getting paid is neither here nor there when you're probably that rich. But I think for the profile of the game and the MLR and the growth, it should be a positive.
It looks like the new 8 Nations tournament is going to be broadcast on Amazon. What's
happened now? Is there a different team? A China? Oh, I can't say China. I
think it's South Africa, Jim.
Canada's back in or not?
I think it's South Africa.
Is it? Are we confirmed yet or not?
Who knows? Not yet. There's no confirmation, but it's heading that way. But Amazon coming in, listen, you know, there's going to be complaints, right? There's going to be complaints because it's not on terrestrial TV. But ultimately, we're in the middle of a pandemic. If someone's going to come in like Amazon, which is a new player in the market in terms of rugby rights and showing that, then Jim and I are available for all matches to commentate on, aren't we, Jim?
Alternate comms. Man, I really like Amazon. I like the stuff they do in sport, the behind-the-scenes stuff. They've set the bar with the all or nothings that they've done. I subscribe to Amazon. I do. I think the frustration is for people, Goody, is, well, I know as well, everyone, not just Goody, for everyone out there, is the fact that you're trying to watch rugby, right? Now, if you're a big fan of rugby and you love it all, for the Guinness Pro 14, you've got to have Premier Sports or EIR or Air Sport or whatever it is in Ireland. BT Sport here. Terrestrial TV is obviously free. Some games are shown on Channel 4. Sky Sports for the Lions and the Southern Hemisphere stuff. How good was that game at the weekend? My word. Hey, it was worth paying for it to get that. So if you're a fan, fan, it's just not that simple, is it? That's the thing. Whereas, I think Amazon is quite simple, but I mean, I don't know what the subscription price is for. Is it £6 a month? Or has it gone up? Who knows? But it's just another platform, is it? But I think Amazon, if they do get it, they'll do it right. And they'll make sure that the product is good that they put out there. So I actually think it's a good thing. I think it was always going to head in that direction. And Amazon and Netflix, I actually quite like it, to be fair, if I'm honest.
Well, we spoke about it last week. What do you guys make of the new Champions Cup format that's been released for next season? You confused or?
No, I'm not confused. As Goody thinks about it. I mean, it's 8 teams. That's all I know. It's 8 teams from each league.
That is correct.
Yeah, I've got it. I see how I paused. I was trying to think through. Mate, I saw a breakdown. I think Alistair Eakin was doing one for BT Sport. He was trying to break it down. It didn't seem that difficult. I think it seems more difficult as you get into the quarters, was it? I don't know.
There you go.
I mean, it's 8 teams. It's 8 teams. That's all I know.
It's 8 teams from each country. It's 8 teams from each league, which makes 24 teams. But the beauty of it is you can't play against another team in your league or something along those lines. And you're tiered 1 to 4. Is that correct? You're tiered 1 to 4.
1 plays 4, 2 plays 4.
It's all starting to sound very much like Super Rugby.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the problem. But listen, it's a one-off. It's just for this year because of the pandemic, because of the situation we're in. And you just got to embrace it. Listen, bottom line is Champions Cup's up for grabs. However you get there, and that is an unbelievable competition to win.
Well then, shall we have a little chat about Goody and his Twitter and the Premiership and what went on there?
Well, it went viral. Let's say that. A lot of people, piggybacked Goodey's video. Did you video your TV? Was that you videoing your TV?
It was on what? It was the TV in the wall in one of the 5 en suites, mate. So, you know. The ones you get at the end of your bath. So it was just there. I was lying in the bath, bollocks out, and just watching that. And boom, there you go. Owen Farrell, what are you doing?
Shall I go first? Because then you can maybe go on. So I weren't watching the game, right? And then I watched the clip and it looked bad. And then you've seen his name start trending on Twitter, and then you watch it back, and then you watch it back. And then I get carried away, right? Because I start watching the stuff that other people are putting together. They start putting like music over the top and compilations together and start kind of going down the media route, the social media route, just add-ons. I'm just watching that stuff. I didn't really forget it, but I watched the interaction that was happening with Goody and some of the people and some of the messages that were coming through. So let's park that for now. So today, because obviously we're recording the podcast on Monday, I've gone back and watched the highlights properly on the big plasma at home, no kids. So I'm fully engaged in it. And what I didn't want to do was piggyback Goodey's tweet and be like, yeah, I 100% agree, or I've not put anything out about it because, one, people know about my relationship with Owen. People know that it's easy to jump on the bandwagon. I'm going to go to it. It's one of the worst tackles I've ever seen. Seriously, and Goody, you can come on now. Now, it doesn't matter what we say or how we open people up or whatever. What will be, right? There's just some tackles that you see. It's like punching someone in the face, right? It's like if you run up to someone and you're running as fast as you can and punch them in the face. It is completely unacceptable. Now, it's not at that level, obviously, because he's gone to make the tackle, but the force in which he's hitting and the height in which he's hitting, and yes, he's slightly dipping. There's a lot of chat around Atkinson's age, only being a young lad, and that shouldn't come into it. And there's a part of that where it's right, but he's still a fucking young lad, you know what I mean? And one of the other things about it was just the way, like it just stopped dead. Like he's made that tackle, and was it accidental? Like, this is up for debate. We don't know, but I'll just go back to it again. I've watched it on TV on Monday on my own with no hidden agenda. That's a fucking bad tackle. As in, I'd say it's an awful tackle.
Yeah. And
you can't get away from that. And the more you watch it, the worse it gets. You try not to watch it. You just try and put it in that kind of simpler context to a game. But it was coming. You tackle that high. If he's hit him low, it's an unbelievable tackle, but he hasn't. He's hit him high and he's knocked him out, the poor lad.
But this is the thing though, right? So, and some people that have come back at me on Twitter, listen, 95% of people, at least 95% of people agree with me on Twitter. It's horrific. And then there's like the 100 Saracens fans that they've got and Will Fraser that have come at me saying it's embarrassing what I'm saying. I'm like, hold on a minute. Let's park who it is. Let's just talk about the mechanics of the tackle, right? So Atkinson's picked the ball up at the back from an Owen Farrell kick, and he's kind of heading across the field, looking at the defensive wall that's in front of him. Owen Farrell isn't part of that defensive wall because he's flown up on the outside chasing his kick, and he's in the blind spot now. Owen Farrell is in the complete blind spot of Atkinson. Atkinson's got no idea that Owen Farrell is coming to get him from that blind spot. And that's perfectly legal for him to come and do that if it's a legal tackle. So Owen Farrell, and you watch the last 5 steps of Owen Farrell, doesn't slow down at all. He's got one thing on his mind, and this is why when you talk about intent, the intent of Owen Farrell is to absolutely wallop Atkinson as hard as he can. Right? There's no second thought about, he might step me, or I've got to get my body feet. He might step me, or I've got to get my feet right. I've got to get my body set to make a tackle. Owen Farrell's doing one thing. He's going there to hurt that kid, legally or illegally. In his mind, he's going there to smash him as hard as he can. And that's okay, because that's within the rules of rugby. If you want to go and smash someone, you're perfectly entitled to in a legal manner. The issue is, if you watch Owen Farrell, he's accelerating still as he gets to him and doesn't change his body at all. He's upright. He swings the arm, and people are going, oh, yeah, but he steps and he lowered his height. I reckon he's lowered his height by an inch tops. And it's the very last minute. So it doesn't matter to Farrell. Farrell hasn't even thought about him potentially stepping and lowering his height. He's tried to smash him into next week, let's be honest. And by doing that, you're out of control. You've got maximum force. There's not even a question of force it. Maximum force with maximum intent of trying to put your whole body weight through a tackle, which, Jim, we've played the game. There's times you fly in for a tackle, and there's times when you soak up. Farrell's given that absolutely everything he can to try and hurt the kid, and not hurt him. He obviously wants to hurt him in a tackling sense. And with it, he's run that risk. And I'm going to say, since the laws and the regs have been looked at around what is a dangerous tackle, and it's obviously at the forefront of world rugby and everyone's mind around this tackle law. And we've seen some that you go, like Cipriani's one against Munster. He's hit him high. He's hardly put anything into it because Sips doesn't like tackling anyway. It's a red card. But that's what they're trying to get rid of. This tackle by Owen Farrell, I'm going to say comfortably, is the worst tackle I've seen since probably for God knows when. But in reality,
Christopher Hallow affair.
Yeah, it's the worst tackle I've seen since they brought in these regulations and the law amendments and everything to try and protect the players. And just to let people know, Owen Farrell's gone over to World Rugby over the last 6, 8, 9 months talking about player welfare. Well, there ain't no player welfare in Owen Farrell's mind there, the way he's accelerating, coming from the blind side, knowing full well that he knows that Atkinson hasn't seen him. So that's got him even more excited, and he's gone and tried and walloped him. So unfortunately, I see this as the worst type of tackle that World Rugby are trying to get rid of, right? Because Atkinson can't even brace himself when he sees it. You see a big defender coming to whack you, as a ball carrier, you will brace yourself, won't you, Jim?
Well, Courtney Laws used to tackle like that. He doesn't so much now. He used to blindside the 9, and obviously
but he does it low. He does it low and legally.
And the distance is significantly shorter. I think, it's all them things you'll speak about. Let's be honest, if it's 5 inches lower, it's an unbelievable tackle, and he's dislodged the ball, and he probody knocks it out, and Saracens go on.
5 inches.
Yeah, I know. 5, yeah. It's absolutely reckless, yeah.
This is the thing where people are saying, if it's this, it's not, though. You can only deal in what's happened. So people go, if it is 5 inches lower or 2 inches lower, it's a brilliant hit. Well, yeah. But it isn't, though. All we can do is judge and deal with what we've seen. And it's the worst tackle I've seen since that we highlighted the necessity to look after players within the concussion idea and what's gone on. So these laws have been brought in, and the fine. These laws have been brought in, and the citing and the bans. And there's no doubt in my mind this is a high end. we've got the jury coming tomorrow night over Zoom or whatever it is for Owen Farrell, and we'll find out what happens. But there's mid-level, which is 6 weeks minimum, and there's high end, which is 10 weeks minimum. This is high end without a shadow of a doubt.
What's very good, fair play, as we get to the business end of the season.
And that's the thing, isn't it? So they've rotated, and, I know the feeling in the camp was, we're giving a lot of these young guys a chance, and it's great experience, and let's hope we can stay in the fight and perhaps get something out of the game. But to go and win that, and in the process that we're in at the minute, where these games are coming thick and fast, so Wasps play Leicester on Wednesday at home, and you can clearly see from the selection that they're keeping the big guns for that game. Well, imagine being the coaching team and your youngsters, who you probably, if you're being honest, you're not going to say this to anyone, but if you're Lee Blackett and you go into that game against Saracens and Saracens were fully stacked, you're thinking, geez, this is going to be a tough afternoon. You can't make any bones about it. It's going to be, and you want to see your side fight and stay in the fight and commitment and all the physicality, all the pillars that you want your team to be, give you whatever the game, they were there. And then to get the win, they must be buzzing. So the first team now, it's probably pressure on them now. They go into Wednesday's game. And what are we talking about? The last time the first team played when rotation was going on, we played Sale at home, and it was Sale's second team that came to town, and Sale beat them. So this top four battle is going to carry on and on and on. Bath, it looks as if it's probably going to be that fourth spot between Bath and Wasps at the minute. So a key win.
And Exeter's B team also had a big win, didn't they, over Northampton's top team?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I suppose looking at that Northampton squad, the way the coaching staff look at it, they probably feel they've got a balance between they can put two very equal teams out, whereas a lot of other clubs have gone first team, second team, haven't they, in reality? And it hasn't worked for them at all. So they've picked what they feel is two balanced teams, so to get the best results out of everything. And they've done one game, I think, against London Irish. And this week they got Bristol away. So I think their top four hopes will be gone after they probably lose to Bristol's first team with Randrandra, Hughes, Luatua, the lot.
How good are Gloucester's back three at the moment?
They're fast.
Ridiculous.
Simon, what do you reckon? England?
That's another thing I put on Twitter.
Imagine. Yeah, I know. I saw it. Yeah, and he replied, didn't he?
He did. He's clearly Welsh, mate. He's only ever playing for Wales. Eddie Jones could probably go there and say, listen, the rest of the team are getting paid $17.5 a game. We're going to give you double that, which is what, Jim? What's double 17.5?
Oh, it's a lot. It's 35.
Yes, good maths teacher.
Boom, I said it quick. I was under pressure.
Yeah.
In other news around Gloucester, and probably more importantly, Danny Cipriani's married.
Has he?
Yeah, he got married. He's married. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah,
good for him.
So good for him.
Wish him all the best. Hope he's very happy. They're going to be very happy together.
Congrats
to Danny.
Yeah, mate. Much needed win. It'll be top 8 for them now. That's what they'll be vying for. Well, a few of the teams will be going for top 8, won't they? Because it's
top 8's done. Top 8 is done.
You reckon?
Yeah. So Gloucester and Quins are going to be 7th and 8th. And then you've got Northampton finishing 6th. The battle between Wasps and Bath for 4th. Whoever doesn't win that battle finishes 5th.
Oh, man, I was hoping London Irish would come on a good run, mate, because Quins are 8th. So on 37. So London Irish on 29, mate. Yeah, you're probably right.
What did you make of Quins in the weekend, Jim?
I just felt sorry for him, mate. Just felt sorry for him. Marler's moaning now, isn't he?
Why are you being horrible? Why are you being horrible?
I do feel sorry for him, mate. Marler's moaning, mate. There's too many games. He said it. He put a tweet out there and said, it's ridiculous. So, Matt, I don't know. I saw Guzzy's comments. Like, he is livid, isn't he? His
hair's fallen out again, Guzzy.
Well, can you imagine? Because we expected big things from Quins, didn't we? With Paul Gustard, at the helm. They've got a good team, but yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously, Ashton signed. They've got Nathan Earl on the wing. They've got some young players. They've got Lasiki, who's unbelievable in the centre as well. Rob Shaw is still there. Marler. Who else? Hit me with some other names that they've got.
Danny Kerr, Landajo.
There you go.
2 world-class nines at times. Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? They're just so inconsistent, right?
They always have been. They always have been, though.
Yeah, they have. And they can get up they got up last week and beat Northampton at home. And it was a good win for them last week, wasn't it? And that was a game to keep them in the hunt for top 4.
Well, this is the thing. I'm literally reading Gustard's comments now. I'm sad for the board. I imagine he means the owners. I'm sad for the club and I'm sad for the fans because they had fans, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, that's the big news about it.
Yeah.
And imagine being a Quins fan. And apparently, I read and I see things in the press. Apparently, loads of Quins fans were leaving way before the end. I mean, imagine.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say.
Imagine not watching rugby. Imagine not watching rugby for 6 months.
It was that bad. They left.
The first game you get to, and they're only Quins fans because that's how it had to be. They left before the end. They aren't trying to skip the traffic. There wasn't any traffic. They were just very disappointed in their team. So it's great to see fans back. How good is it to see fans back, though? In reality, you flick on a bit of the top 14, they've got fans in the stadium, yet there's a quarantine going on in France for if you come to the UK back from France. So let's just let the fans come back now. Come on, it's time.
In fairness, how good are Bath, though?
Very good.
Yeah.
In fact, mate, they're very good. I don't know what's happened. And Bath have always been a weird one for me. Always found them quite, not a strange club, but in terms of the players that they've had, the training facility, the stadium being in town, like a really, really good club, an affluent place. Not that matters about being a good team, but just like the way they play. Around the corner, physical. Will Stewart's on fire for them. Like, love Elliot Stook in the second row as well. Zach Mercer, Tom Ellis as well. But they've got some physicality in their team now, and they've got an unbelievable back three as well. So, and Prieston's playing well.
The one thing about Bath and their game against Quins at the weekend, it was interesting. I don't know whether you've seen the highlights or watched the game, but Lewis Boyce gets an intercept and runs it in from he'll claim it's about 80, but it was about 35 metres. Against his old team, there's probably nothing sweeter to get the bonus point try against your old team, getting the intercept, and when you're a prop, running it in from that far out. It was great to see. So, yeah, things were ticking over nicely for Bath at the weekend. And
the big thing for Bath as well, I didn't even mention him on the name drop, is Ben Spencer.
How good.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm really happy for him as well, because he's been in the shadows of Wigglesworth a little bit. And, if he made a mistake at Sarries, was he getting shouted at? I'm just asking the question.
By who? Who was shouting?
I'm just asking the question.
Owen Farrell.
No, I'm just asking.
Is this what happened to you, Jim?
Are you saying that if you made a mistake, Owen Farrell shouted down your neck, and like Ben Spencer did the same thing, Farrell's going hard at him as well?
No, Spencer never shouted at me. So him as well. So I'm really, really happy for Spencer, because I think he can kick on now. Poor lad, went to the World Cup, last game, on the bench. That was it, mate. Do you remember he got flown out for the final?
Yeah, mate, that's a dream though. To get there and be on the bench of the World Cup final when you played whoever it was away the week before. But the thing with Ben Spencer, right, is, and I question this now, I think he should be picked for England as first choice 9. If we're looking at form right now, coming into the Italy game or the 8 Nations after that, now he's gone to Bath, and this isn't a criticism of anything. Saracens play a certain way, don't they? Bath are trying to put width on it, and he's a massive part of that. Was he pigeonholed by Eddie Jones as a scrum half that can only play the Saracens way, which is bloody successful, has been bloody successful because they broke the salary cap. But now you look at him playing at Bath, he is everywhere. He's running the show with Priestland. He's getting the ball away from breakdowns. He's making breaks. He's quick. I think he's everything.
He's rapid. He is absolutely shredded as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he can kick goals.
Mate, he's the Lions starting 9. He is, mate. He's in.
Yeah.
Well, we can have a chat now with the star of the show in that one, and one of the most informed wingers in England at the moment. Bath's Rory McConnochie joins us. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, lads. Yourselves?
Rory, we're very good, mate. I'm looking at the spelling of your name, and because I'm well-read and I'm Scottish, mate, it's a Scottish name, through and through, is it not?
You're very right. Yeah, so me and my brothers were all born in London, but if you look at blood-wise, we are sort of Scottish. Everyone in our family is Scottish. A lot of them live up north of the border and stuff. So, yeah, just due to where we were born and grew up in England, that's where it comes from.
I see where you're going with this, Jim, but there is a huge difference between your good self. Hamilton is a Scottish surname, and McConnochie, which is a Scottish surname. Basically, what you're saying is he should have played for Scotland. Rory's good enough to play for England, mate. You weren't, Jim. So, there's a huge difference there, I'm afraid.
But I just wanted to go down because you were born in London, but are you fully Scottish blood? So full Scottish blood or not?
Yeah, in terms of blood wise, yeah, fully Scottish. Yeah.
So you're Scottish.
Keep digging, Jim.
Who knew? Who knew? We need you.
Oh, mate, it's great to have you on. Even though you're English, mate. Let's forget the Scottish blood. You can see him at Christmas. That's all right. But you're on fire at the minute, aren't you? 8 tries in the Premiership this season. You've equalled the record, I think, the Bath record, 5 scoring games on the trot. Eddie Jones has been watching and smiling every time you're doing stuff. You must be in a really good place at the minute.
Yeah, it's good. It's I think as a team we've spoken long and hard about as a backline we wanted to be better. Like we knew we were confident we had a very good forward pack and we had the backs to do it, but we just weren't performing, especially at the beginning of this season. And I'm just happy, we're getting it into those wide channels. Obviously, it benefits me a lot. But, Reece is playing well. Cam and Josh Matavesi coming into the team has massively helped our attack as well. So, it's good to profit from it, but it's a lot of work being done in the week leading up to them.
Well, let's obviously yourself, big win at Quins at the weekend. One of the things I want to pull you up on, though, is you may be finishing tries of fun, but you seem to have a little Steve Borthwick scab on the end of your nose. Has anyone given you any banter about that? Was that from taking contact or avoiding it?
I think it's something that us backs do near the end of the game, just to show that we've actually done some hard graft in the game. So, no, I always seem to pick up it on my nose. I think it's just because I got a big schnoz, but it seems to just catch it right at the end of each game.
I like it, mate. It's a war wound. I used to give myself one before the game, just to give myself a card. Let's talk. I don't know why I'm delving into the culture of Bath. I've always found Bath a really interesting club, right? I've had a load of mates play there. I remember when I was younger, when I was at Leicester, and we used to have unbelievable games against Bath. So I've always got an interest in Bath, and the fact that you've got an amazing training facility where the stadium is. It's a beautiful place. I was going to say city or town, even a village, whatever. But we spoke about the resurgence there, but what else is it? Gervin Dempsey's come in as well. Is it the fact that players are fit? I mean, Priestland's playing really well. There was talk of him leaving as well. So, he's found a little bit of form. Is it a new way in which you're playing? Will Stewart in the forwards is unbelievable now. He's coming through. You've got a bit of strength and depth. Anything else you can give us?
I guess it's, like Bath, like before I joined, I always saw them, and a lot of pundits saw them as sort of the underachievers with the quality that they had in there. And I think it's getting everyone, what Hoops has done really well is getting everyone on the same page, and, being able to add someone like Hats into the coaching staff is massive for us. He gives the boys so much energy and sort of just pushes us to be just never comfortable in training and constantly wanting to get better. So I think it's good. I think, you've got a few boys that have been there a few years now, that came to the club young. Like a lot of the guys that sort of came from that London Irish Academy have now been at Bath sort of 5 or 6 years now. And they've sort of really stepped up into leadership roles, and it shows. And just, the quality that we've got and the experience that we've got, I think everyone wants silverware, and it's kind of like we want it as soon as possible.
Is there much pressure from the top, from the owners? I mean, because, Bath, again, you've got a rich backer, similar to when I was at Saracens with Nigel Raine, and he'd be interacting with the players. And to be fair, when I was there, we were quite successful, not because of me. Goody will tell you why. Goody will tell you why. Let's not get into it. But do the owners of the club, do they come down to training? Do they interact with the guys? Is there, an air of frustration, but an air of happiness now that the team are winning?
I don't think there's ever been an air of sort of frustration that's been passed down to the players. I think, Bruce loves the club and just wants success for us, and will do anything he can to, for Bath to be successful. And that trickles down in terms of whether it's the coaches or the players. Like, everyone wants us to be successful, and I think where the frustration has lied in the previous years is probably on our own performances rather than actually anything external. So I think we've concentrated a lot on ourselves. Like, previous years in my first season, potentially it was sort of 50% on ourselves, 50% on the opposition leading into game week. And now it's actually sort of, we want to get to that 80-20 split, 80% on ourselves. And, if we get that right, then it shouldn't really matter what the opposition is.
And looking at the makeup of the back three at Bath, it's ridiculously talented, isn't it? Obviously, you're on fire. Rockin and Gooney's on the other wing at the weekend. He was skinning people for fun. I remember watching the weekend's game, he made Nathan Earl look like a school kid when he stepped in and did him. And obviously there's Cockiner Singer who's going to come back from injury at some point, and Anthony Watson as well. There's a real blend there of not only youth but experience as well in two of the older boys. But bottom line is, anyone that touches the ball out of the back three is ridiculously exciting. How hard is it to keep in the team when it all gets down to week rugby with all that talent around you as well?
Yeah, it's tough, but it's the challenge that you want. You want to be constantly pushing yourself. I'm a big believer of never wanting to feel comfortable at training, because you're just not going to get better that way. And I think having the likes of Anthony, who's still younger than me, but he's like, the experience that he's got in terms of rugby is ridiculous. Joe's obviously going to be a global superstar for years to come, and Rocco's done all he's done leading up to now and can still skin sort of 21-year-olds on the wing. And then we've got Gabe Hammer-Webb, who had an incredible start to this season, and Daz Atkins coming back from injury. So there's a lot of depth and talent in our back three department. And I think it can only be good for us as long as we hold on to everyone. I think it's going to be class for us going forward.
No, absolutely. I wanted to talk a little bit about your backstory as well. Played in the Championship, am I right in saying that? But you're in the Neaton. Were Hartbury in the Championship or not?
No, I never made the champ. I was Hartbury in my first. I was Nuneaton for 2 years.
What a club!
Yeah, the Skins.
Is there still a picture of me on the wall there at Nuneaton? That was my junior rugby club. One of Just say yes. Just say yes.
Yeah, one.
Hey, weirdly enough, mate, I played at the Nuneaton Old Boys. Just to let you know, or Old Heads, which is Old Heads.
Yeah, that's it.
Old Heads, mate. I played for the Nuneaton. Small world. So I want to talk about the lower league teams. Lewis Ludden, we had them last week from Rotherham. There's been some funding cuts, obviously, in the Championship. I don't know if you've got mates who are still playing around that level or whatever, but it's a great apprenticeship for all of us. Like we've all played down there. I was at Nottingham as well for a little bit. And I don't expect you to answer this question, but the reason why I'm asking it is because listening to Haskell and Dylan talk about injuries and what they put their bodies through, yet they've come out the other side quite well off the back of it. I've got mates who play in the Championship. You applied your trade there as well. You hardly make any money. It's a tough old league, the travel and everything. How was your experiences? I say down there. I mean, it's pretty good fun, but down in the lower leagues.
Yeah, I loved it, to be fair. I never actually played Championship. So all of my rugby up until joining the Sevens was amateur. So I loved it. I would have kept on playing even if I hadn't made it pro. And it definitely wasn't, well, what was I, 23? It definitely wasn't a plan at that point to be pro. I'd kind of passed it off as it just wasn't going to happen. So yeah, I loved it. Loved my 2 years at the Nuns, and still chat to a lot of the boys today, and still chat to the DOR quite a lot. And it's a hell of an experience to do. I was trekking up from Cheltenham. I was at Uni of Gloucester, so making the trek up from Cheltenham every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and living the dream. Loved it. And then Hartbury was for a season in that one, and that was probably it's probably very different to other National One teams in terms of, I've always said it's as professional as you can get without being a pro, with the facilities they have and the setups they got. But it was a perfect stepping stone for me to go from that into the Sevens program.
Well, let's talk about the Sevens program as well then, because ultimately, you had a great success in that as well, and then moved into 15s. You've got mates that will still be in the Sevens, likes of Charlie Hayter, Richard de Carpentier as well, who I'm pretty good mates with. Those guys have had it pretty tough over the last period, and especially at the minute with Richard de Carpentier. How tough is that looking at those guys at the minute? How do you feel about the Sevens? Jim and I are absolutely devastated Hong Kong's been cancelled, because that's our yearly blowout that we look forward to. But those guys, they haven't got a job at the minute, have they? It's really tough for them. Yeah,
it's hugely tough. And honestly, I'm just gutted for them. I think, a few people have asked me about it over the last few weeks, and it's just that really sicky feeling that you feel like they're now jobless, and there's so many good people, like, as you said, Hates and Chippy, and there's so many good people in that program, whether it's players or staff, that have given so much towards, the Sevens program. That's the men's and the women's teams. And it's just sad looking at it now, thinking, is that firstly, England Sevens dreams career's gone, and then is that their Olympic dreams gone as well? So, I know they're doing a lot of work individually at the moment, going out looking for funding, and I hope something comes of it, because they've got a great chance to be successful at Tokyo and on the World Series. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Let's be positive now, and let's talk about England, right? Let's talk. Matt, I had no idea you were 28, and you were 23 when you were knocking about at Nuns, or was that Hartbury at 23?
Yeah, Hartbury at 23. I think I think I made my England Sevens debut, I think 24. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's been a rapid but late rise to fame. How's that experience been for you? Obviously scoring at the World Cup as well. But how's that been? I mean, because you think like you're 23 years old, a lot of lads are playing international rugby, especially in the back three at that age. But how's that been? It must have been unreal.
Yeah, it was. And like, as I said, I'd still be playing even if I wasn't pro. Like I was like a mega fan before I came professional, and like used to love watching it and used to love playing it. So to go into the sevens, which I knew a lot about, and then playing with sort of the guys that I'd seen on the TV was awesome. And then to be able to sort of, stay there for 3 years and then get the chance to play 15s with Bath, it was kind of just like, don't have no regrets at it, because I never thought it was going to come about. So it was just going to make the most of it whilst I could. It was like same as basically going into that World Cup camp was, I knew some people would be coming and going after every week, and 5 weeks before it started, I didn't know I was anywhere near an England fold. So it was just literally making the most of it every week. If I went home, then I was leaving no stone unturned, and I was still going to have fun. And if I didn't, then I had the jokes with Lewis Ludlam. Actually, we'd joke literally every Monday. We'd walk in together and we'd be like, "Oh, we're still here," sort of thing. And it got all the way. It got all the way to the plane on the way to Japan. So, yeah, it was incredible being involved, and to be involved in that sort of setup for almost half a year. It was like 5 and a bit months, I think, in the end. Was class.
Mate, I did that 15 years. I'd walk in and be like, what the hell? My mates are working at Alfred's in the factories, and I'm like, mate, how am I a rugby player? I mean, a lot of people thought that. It wasn't just me who thought that. It was a lot of people.
Exactly. I was going to say, the funny thing was all the players are saying the same thing that are playing with you, Jim, as well. But let's talk about them, because obviously that training under Eddie Jones, pre-World Cup and during the World Cup, it's a tough environment, isn't it? But you mentioned it earlier. This new breed of player, and I know you're 28, so you're not necessarily a youngster, but you are new into that environment. You mentioned yourself, you go to training every day and you want to get better and you want to improve, and you enjoy training, so you train hard for it. I mean, I'd go to training every day thinking I just need to do as little as possible today so I'm fit for the weekend. But that emphasis has changed now massively, hasn't it? And, you're someone that goes and enjoys it. Was training really tough, or was it really enjoyable, or a bit of both?
No, it was tough, but, I'll take it back to the sevens again. Like that whole process put me in the perfect state, because like the baseline of sevens is to work as hard as you fucking can, and work your nuts off, and that's literally the lowest standard that you can get to. So anything above that that's where you worked on. So going into the camp, I'd already been exposed to that sort of work as hard as you possibly can in those sessions. So it wasn't so new to me as it would be for, say, a youngster coming out of academy into an England squad. So no, it was seriously enjoyable. And like, I know, chatting to some of the guys that have been around the squad sort of the last 2 World Cups, they've said it was one of the most enjoyable times they've had in an England camp. So I think it made it better with the work that went in off the pitch with the lads, and getting to know each other and just staying that tight as a squad.
One question we ask all our guests is around Eddie Jones. We always say, what's he like? How's your interactions with him? What's he like? How's your interactions with him then? Because, look, I'm warming to the guy, right? I really am. He seems like he works the guys hard. You're kind of used to that. Dylan had a bad knee, he weren't accepting of that, and he's come out with that, but he's kind of backtracked on that. But for you, have you had much interaction with him? Because that back three, you've got such quality players, but he clearly likes you, right? Because you've come from nowhere effectively under Eddie Jones, and it's great to see. Does he give you much chat?
Yeah, he's been decent from the start. Literally, first day I walked in to camp, he chatted to me and was saying, like, you're here because of what we've seen and what you're good at. So just keep doing that. Don't have to be anything new. Don't have to be a new person. Just do what you're good at. And he's always said that to me. So even when I was like, I'll easily admit, like coming back from the World Cup, I had some pretty shit form for club, and was half expecting not to get into that Six Nation mix, and the messages were still pretty clear and pretty simple, and it wasn't sort of change the wheel. It was just get back to doing what you're good at. And to be fair to him, he's been on and off messaging me like over lockdown, just random chats as well. It hasn't just been about rugby. So yeah, he's a decent bloke, and he loves the players and just wants the best for us. And you know, will push us hard, but we know that's to get us success.
He likes you. If he's messaged you, he likes you. He does, which is good, because Vern Cotter never texts me, but Mike Brewer, I don't know if you've heard of him, he used to call me the iceberg. He was texting me all the time away from rugby, and he liked me and he picked me for 5 games.
Well, I'll ask you on that then, because Eddie Jones likes his little quirks, doesn't he, around different players. You know, it's not all just rugby. What sort of stuff do you chat to Eddie Jones about then away from rugby? Is it night Eddie, sleep well? I'm in bed early.
Nothing like that. It was literally it's like a one sentence message, just like how's it going, mate? And that's it. As simple as that. Just
that'll do. Yeah. That'll do.
Yeah. So it's just as simple as that. But you know that you're still in that sort of thought process and stuff. So yeah, it's decent. Who knows? It might not. That might have been the last involvement for England last October. So who knows? But I'm enjoying it, and yeah, it doesn't stop what I do day to day.
Mate, with your form at the minute, there's no chance that's your last involvement at all. You've surely got to be one of the form wingers in the Premiership. You are the form winger in the Premiership at the minute, but the competition in that back three is pretty good as well. You've got Watson, Elliot Daly, obviously plays on the wing and fullback as well. There's plenty of other players. What do you see the selection looking like for the group of back three that could be announced?
Yeah, I think you look at that. There's probably, you go Anthony, Elliot, Johnny and Jack are probably the main 4 back three options, and have been over the past few years. And you know that they'll be the real competition. They sort of set the standard of where you want to be. So it's great having Anthony at the club and being able to sort of try and challenge him every week in training. And then, yeah, you just do as much as you can. You know, everyone's got their own strengths. Johnny's obviously however quick he is, and Ant can do wing or fullback. Elliot's almost like a secondary playmaker, and Knowlesy's whatever the wing / flanker, little bulldozer. So it's you know, you've got your own niche. He doesn't want his wingers to be a certain type, like he wants you to express yourself. So yeah, as I said, as long as I'm keeping working on what I've been good at and what I've been picked on in the past, then that's all I can do.
All right, Rory. Well, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Best of luck for the rest of the season, chasing that silverware with Bath. And next time you're texting Goody, say hi to him from us.
Will do. Cheers, lads.
All right, we'll get back to the ruggers shortly, but Jim, it's time for your favourite part of the show, isn't it?
I think it's not just my favourite part of the show, it's the millions out there.
Everyone's.
It's absolutely everyone's. We did Japan through Jim's eye, also known as
Jim's Jap's Eye.
That's gone. It's fallen by the wayside. This is the new and improved segment, and it's improved because we have our skipper of the ship. But anyway, let me do the intro. Riddle me this, Goody. Riddle me that, Carol. Jim will solve it with a lot of help. I did that in one breath. Hit me. What you got?
So, from Dundee, here is this week's riddle for you, Jim. I am a thing, and I want to know, what am I? Okay. So, without the first 2 letters, I'm an intelligent animal. Without the first 3 letters, I'm a subject in school. And without the first 4 letters, I am the letter E. What am I?
It ends in E, right? So, and without the first 4 letters, I'm the letter E. So I've got that bit. It ends in E. Without the first 2 letters, I'm an intelligent animal. So 2 letters, it's 2. Without the first 3, so it's 3. So it's 4 letters. Fishy.
It's got to end in E.
Oh, Goody, have you not got it?
No, I'm trying to write it out and think about it as well.
So, I like this one. I like animals. Without the first 3 letters, I'm a subject in school. Without the first 3, PE. PE?
Oh.
without the first three. Man, I think I've got it. I think I've not got it. I'm getting it.
And here's a clue, Jim. You could eat me. Whatever it is I am, you could eat me.
Great. I've got it.
Is that it? Jim got it.
I've got it.
Hey,
I didn't just get it. I solved it.
you did, Jim.
Mate, thank you very much. Hey, animals. I told you, bet we're getting a dog to celebrate. Riddle me this, Carol. Riddle me that, Goody. Jim just solved it.
Well done, Jim. Should we have a look at the Guinness Pro14 semi-finals that took place over the weekend? Drama.
Please. Where do you want to start?
What'd you make of the Leinster game for a start against Munster? A lot of box kicking or what?
Goody, watch it or not? Do you want me to give you an outline?
I saw some clips, but yeah, I mean, I don't pay for Premier Sports because, I mean, it's called Premier Sports, but it's not Premier, is it?
Mate, it is Premier. The coverage is very good, I should say. Very, very good. Very good.
Yeah, no, so I saw some clips, but yeah, from what you see, long and short of it, O'Hanrahan misses a load of kicks at goal.
Yeah, he missed a couple of kicks. Mate,
Where it
Munster
could have been
didn't
tight.
fire a shot. Munster, 2 weeks before, they got loads of change out of banging the box kicks up. And they didn't get any change this week. Lamos playing 15, struggled in the first game against Munster, got dropped or rotated out for Rob Carney. Rob Carney, everyone thought he was going to come back for the game against Munster. He didn't. James Lowe, my goodness me. Absolutely.
Friend of the show.
Carving up, mate. Carving up.
Lions player. He'll be Lions. He qualifies for Ireland in November, I think it is.
Yeah, and Caelan, the old Doris, unbelievable. I think we spoke about him before the Six Nations, and he got knocked out in his first game. Mate, Leinster, you ain't beating them. Like 16 games unbeaten. I don't know how many years in a row.
Will they have the perfect season?
Yes. I don't want to be horrible to Ulster, but you know what? I'm disappointed in Munster because they didn't fire a shot. You've got Delande in the centre with Chris Farrell. They've got Larkin coaching the backs and just didn't fire a shot. But I enjoyed the game. I think I love watching Leinster. They're just so good. So
it seems whoever they put in, they play the same way, and there's no drop off, is there? You know, like we spoke about Northampton earlier, trying to pick two balanced teams. Leinster can pick who they want, and they're just ridiculously good, aren't they?
Mate, they've got an unbelievable lock. Ryan Baird, young lad. So James Ryan will be fit this week, apparently. This Ryan Baird, you watch him, mate. He is the next big thing in world rugby. I'm going to
Lions,
say,
mate.
I'm
Lions
going to throw it out there. Let's make headline. Mate, he's captain, mate. I tell you now, if he stays fit, this kid is unbelievable. But mate, that was it. Leinster, easy win for them. Do you want to talk about the big one or not? Shall I give you a round?
Well, I think that was the big one. But the big one, I mean, Ulster. I told you so. I don't want to say it, Jim, but I told you so.
Didn't see it coming. Could not see it coming at all. Ulster rocked in. Look at me, mate. I'm just giving you a roundup. I love it. Ulster rocked up, hadn't played that well, lost both games against Connacht in the first game, and then they got beat by Leinster's 6th team last week. So you're thinking, #always Edinburgh winning easily. Full noise. Everyone's fit. Ulster out of sorts. They've had not issues, but they couldn't train the week before because someone tested positive for COVID or one of the academy players had it. They had a 6-day turnaround on travel. You're thinking, #always Edinburgh, comfortable victory, mate. Well,
no.
They didn't win.
No.
So it wasn't. Second half, Madigan, the old kahunas, mate, they took Cooney off at half time.
Yeah, what happened there?
Mate, I don't know. Mate, I hope he had it. Mate, I think we've jinxed him.
Well, Matheson's a decent replacement, no.
He is, man. I think Cooney's struggling with his Achilles or his ankle or something. Anyway, so we'll bypass that. The subs that they brought on, Ulster, changed up their game plan. Edinburgh's discipline was awful. Poor Mike Willems has gone for an intercept pass when it's 19.
Oh,
mate. He should have been.
Not only that, but he's flown out the line as well, hasn't he?
Mate, he's flown out the line, but mate, Edinburgh lost it. That's as simple as that. Yeah, every opportunity to win the game, they didn't. Frank Murphy was reffing. I'm just giving you a quick roundup here.
I saw that actually. Really good.
Yeah. Might have missed a controversial thing at about 77 minutes. High ball's gone up. Blair Kinghorn's gone to gather it. Who you put out a tweet about the tackle he put on Bill Matter, has gone up, clattered him in the air. No replay or anything of it. Arguably, that could have been a game changer, but it wasn't.
Competition for the ball, mate.
Mate, well, I don't know. I've only seen a clip of it, but mate, fair play. Marching on, Ulster. Leinster final. I'm going. I'm getting on a plane.
Are you going, eh? Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going. I've got to put my suit on and stuff. I don't even know where it is.
Go on, son. But yeah, I mean, Madigan, we've talked on here about some shocking haircuts in the Premiership since it's come back. Mullet's going everywhere. He's got the opposite of a mullet. It's all shaved around the back. He's been to John Cooney's hairdresser and he's asked for the better John Cooney. That's what he's asked for. And then 2 bits of key stuff from Madigan. The touchline conversion, you think about the ones that Edinburgh missed. And then the penalty. Oh, my testicles. I mean, we talked about Sexton's one a couple of years ago, that drop goal. But when you've not, like you said on Twitter, when you've not played for pretty much a couple of years in terms of, maybe not, when you've not played for a season, maybe more, regularly as a first choice 10, you go to a new club, you come off the bench and you do that. The game's on the line, you win it for your team. I mean, I don't reckon there's any better feeling, is there?
Oh man, I said it after. I had goosebumps for him, genuinely. And I don't emotionally embed myself like that in many club games. But one, because of the finish, but secondly, just watching him, and I don't really know Mads, I do, Madigers. But I kind of know him, do you know what I mean? Like, just a bit of interaction or whatever. But you just genuinely pumped for the bloke. Like, that's how I felt. I just thought, to be able to do that, Billy Burns is captain, looked like he was struggling with a couple of niggles as well. Madigan's just waiting the whole time. Everything you hear about him is professionalism, how he goes about his business, what he said about Bristol when he left, considering the way that he was treated. Yes, he's paid a load of money, but he wants to play. So absolutely buzzing for him. And we tried to get him on the podcast today. And we tried to get a couple of Leinster players as well, but we couldn't. We weren't allowed.
They're all on lockdown, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not lockdown, COVID lockdown of
media lockdown.
Yeah, we're going to do very little media, maybe just rights holders this week, because there's a lot of Leinster boys. Because there's a lot of ex-Leinster boys that are playing at Ulster now, hey?
That's why. Not to give them too much. I don't want to be horrible. I'd love to see it, but just look at the 2 teams. Leinster, it's going to be. It's going to be a full house this year. I reckon they'll win Europe as well.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's my question to you earlier, Jim, was a bit loaded about the perfect season. I mean, I meant the Champions Cup as well. So they're going to dust Saracens now Farrell's gone. But more importantly, it's a tough one for Ulster. But it's the first final in 7 years or something, is it? So, it's the John Cooney effect. He comes on the podcast and he doesn't have to do well himself. But his influence, he's an influencer.
No, I didn't think about it like that.
You know what I mean? It's just what we do, Jim.
It is.
It's what we do.
It is. So, mate, big shout out to Ulster. Stevie Ferris, he helped me out. He did all my work, basically, for the prep last week, giving me the insight to the Ulster team, because I don't understand me ruggers. I do. But biggest shout out's got to go to Ian Madigan, friend of the show.
Yeah, McCloskey horse played well as well, didn't he?
Quietly well. Yeah. Quietly well, mate. He's a big old unit, mate. Just gets through a graft of work, mate. Well, you dig a little bit more if you want, mate. Myself, Kutsira in the back row as well, number 8.
He's hard.
A barrel load of work.
He's hard,
mate. He's hard as nails. Mate. I'm not saying he's not in great shape. Doesn't look in great shape, but with a shirt on, it don't matter. But animal, beast of a man wants to carry. Edinburgh #always. It's over. And Cockers was fuming.
Was he raging?
Raging.
Did you see him?
I saw him, mate. He was livid.
Did he say, "You're a fucking disgrace, Jim"? What the fuck do you know?
Well, it's not my fault. I didn't know anything.
Well, blame anyone.
I was smiling, though. Maybe that's why he was annoying me, because I was smiling for Madigan.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Goody. Thanks, producer Tim. And thank you very much for listening as well. Don't forget to hit subscribe on whatever platform you get your podcasts on, and check us out on YouTube as well.
So,
Rugby pod.
Pod.